This is Salamancer, you're watching SalTV, and today we've got a map on CTF Turbine. I just wanted to show you guys what the Turbine Pro version of the map looks like real quick. So you can probably skip ahead if you already know. But over on the left, bottom left and top right, you do see the intel points. Those little white lines there are the ducts that you can use. They're kind of upstairs, and so people will go out through the ducts oftentimes to jump into the intel room, grab the intel, and try to skedaddle out of there, get back to their base. On either end, of course, you've got the spawns in the top left and the bottom right, which are not right next to the intel, which actually makes it kind of interesting, because usually they are right next to the intel, and that's annoying. But no, they are not right next to it, which just means that spawn camping is a lot more difficult and a lot less rewarding. There is a couple of extra routes compared to the normal CTF Turbine. You see that down on the very bottom middle, for instance, there's this little sort of extra path there leading up to the high ground facing towards the blue intel, and we could just zoom in on that real quick to show you what it means, or we can't because we are not. There we go. You know. But yeah, this leads from the main room in the middle straight up here towards the intel, and that is more or less all you gotta know. By the way, this looks hilarious. I mean, I could pick a strange pose to start this off, but I guess we'll just get into it because you want to see the game. This game is Chocolate Waffles in the blue versus the last bosses in the red on CTF Turbine. They are playing Capture the Flag. And let's just check here. There is a map time. There will be a halftime, 20 minutes. And so whoever has, I think, the most points at the end of that wins. I think there might be a point limit as well, but I honestly have no idea what it is. And let me know if you liked, by the way, the map thing, or if you disliked it at the beginning, because this is not a normal map, so sometimes it helps to see that upper top-down view. But if you didn't like it, I mean, let me know that too. I just figured it might be useful. And right now, it looks like Chocolate Waffles do have control of the middle area, which is a useful thing. It means they will be able to make a lot of pushes down this hallway towards the intel, where their opponents are probably, setting up a sentry right now, because that's what you got to do. You got to set that sentry up there and really turtle up when your opponents hold the middle ground. Once they've pushed in and failed to make a push, that is usually the best time to push out and capture the middle. Right now, actually, a crit screen coming out, so this is a little bit aggressive here, but it is working so far for the last bosses. And this is why they're called last bosses. Even if you know their pattern, they're pretty tough to beat sometimes, because you got to get it just perfect. But anyway, Chocolate Waffle setting up their own sentry in the... looks like in their intel as well. Yes, it is. Wrangled and everything, and it's just going to be sitting here out in the middle of the floor. Kind of easily spammable, and do remember that on the CTF Turbine Pro, you can walk through the ducts that we were talking about earlier, and you can stand on this little ledge all the way up around. So I mean, the sentry will cover that, which is useful, but I mean, somebody could come out there and just spam it really easily from a lot of different angles. So we'll see how long that sentry lasts. Meanwhile, this looks like the last bosses still hold on to mid for the moment. They are running the crits, and let me just see if Kyrox is doing the same, or Chirox. I'm going to call him Kyrox because that sounds cooler. But no, he's running the regular medigun, and I gotta say that it's, from what I have heard about teams playing this map, the crits was actually really, really useful. So we'll see whether a medigun can hold its own. A regular Uber can really do anything, because there's a lot of space to cover, and your opponents can see that Uber coming very early most of the time. The only thing it can be useful for, I guess, is getting in and knocking out the enemy sentry, but they're not even in a position to do that right now. So we will just find out whether Chocolate Waffles can hold on to this. They could get the Uber up in time, I think. ZFX does have his Uber ready to go, but they're having to deal with some stuff going on at the mid right now. I'm trying to find who he's probably going to try and pop the crits, either on his demo or on his heavy, once again. And let's just find that demo man. Well, we'll find the medic. That works too. Got that crits ready. Looks like he does kind of just want to wait. Maybe he's waiting for the demo, or maybe he's waiting for the rest of his team to get in position. No, he is going to pop it on the crits, on the heavy. My bad. And Billy, the demo, immediately taken down. But everybody gets milked there. And there goes an Uber. Scout coming in and dancing around a little bit. He probably will get taken down here, but he is doing a really surprisingly good job of damaging his opponents. And now, Chocolate Waffles, I mean, they're in a little bit of trouble. It looks as if that Uber didn't really do a heck of a lot, other than just barely defend against the crit screen, which means that it is still 0-0. Nobody has even touched the other team's intel yet. But the last bosses are thinking about sending in a pyro for some fancy shenanigans. Let's just see if that actually works out. Crow is having a little bit of difficulty. You might want to wait for Tom Servo. Oh, I hope you got that one. If you didn't, maybe you should go watch some Mystery Science Theater. Yeah, Crow just kind of hanging around in here, and he does spot the spy, who is wisely going to back up. Probably don't want to walk straight into a pyro there. And I kind of like this. Right now, the last bosses do hold mid, and they are trying to hold it very firmly. They have got a dispenser set up here up on top of their opponents. It looks like there is a crits coming in somewhere. Yes, it is, but it is just now fading away. The sentry is still there. But Spy's come in and sapped it, so that actually got rid of the Wrangler shield. And now we've got a whole bunch of death coming in here from the last bosses. The Uber is popped, but it might be a little bit too late for CW. They might get a kill on the medic or the heavy here, but so far that's not even working. This is the problem with popping an Uber a little bit too late. They've lost a lot of players, so they lose a lot of their damage potential. Now, the intel is still there on the ground. Last bosses could not get it out of the room, so Chocolate Waffle's just barely holding on for now. Oh, and the medic does get taken out there. That was Rarity with a nice headshot. Dueling Master now gets taken down as well. Looks like actually that is going to be a buff banner popped, and it gave the heavy a lot of good damage. Nappy somehow got a reflect kill in there that I didn't get to see. My apologies, Nappy. Missed your moment of glory. But you could always send that into XTV Moments of Glory. Just FYI. And so Chocolate Waffles are probably going to use this opportunity. They've got a nice Uber advantage. They want to push out and recapture mid, which of course is not a control point, so it doesn't matter in that sense. But tactically, holding mid means you get to see where your opponents are trying to push in, and you get to take the shots on goal instead of them taking them. Right now, the last boss's intel is actually all the way out here, so CW didn't even have to go all that far. They are popping the Uber just to try and cover their retreat. They will probably get this intel out there into their own base, and once it is moved back here, it will be captured, regardless of whether this intel is even in enemy hands or not. It is always just going to be captured. But you will notice that they do not get crits for capturing. That would be a little bit overpowered in a 9v9 situation, because it's like once you get capture crits, you go spawn camp, and then you're done. The game is over because you just keep capping and keep camping. Whoops, a little bit of a skip in the video. Do not adjust your TV sets. That's my fault. But X the Demo Man be helping his team maintain control of the middle area, and the only thing they really have to worry about at that point is going to be spies. That scout does not deserve to be alive right now, but somehow he managed to do some fancy artful dodging and is still quite in the world of the living. So
our banana is cleared.
Apparently somebody's banana is cleared. That is actually what they call that area, by the way. This is the banana, and it's called that because it's kind of curvy like a banana. So that's the reason for that. Medic following the heavy and demo right now, and they've got an Uber ready to go. I think they're going to push in with this. Is it a crits is the question. It probably is. No, it is a regular Uber. Oh, man. So that is going to be complete destruction here on the part of the red team, and all they have to do now is get that intel out of there. Easier said than done, but I think these blue players are slowly going to be whittled away, and there you go. The heavy can just grab the intel and run out. Interestingly, there is no crate or anything here that you can jump onto, so once you're down here, you can't get back up there very easily. I mean, especially as a heavy or a medic. If you're a scout, demo, soldier, pyro with a detonator, then you have no problem, I guess. Or even an engineer if you just want to lay down a dispenser over there. But there you go. Chocolate Waffles look like they are going to give up another point, which cannot feel... Oh, that can't feel good either. But yeah, can't feel good. It's going to be 2-0 now, I think, in favor of... Oh, no, I'm sorry, 1-1. My bad. I am a complete idiot. So, Chocolate Waffles give up their first point. It's 1-1. And Spy going in for the intel, but I don't think he is going to get very far. He might be using the Dead Ringer, though, so Insistent is... Where'd he go? He died in the time that I was clicking around. So, anyway, that's CTF for you. It is a difficult game mode to follow in some cases, especially for casting. And it's so different than the rest of the game modes that you don't see it played too often. But every so often, UGC will have a CTF game, and so will ETF2L. And they're always interesting to see. Sphere gets taken down by a nice little sticky trap as the Ubers are popped, and this Uber was very ill-advised by CW. That's going to mean that tLB, last bosses, will be pushing in. They've got to deal with a sentry, a pyro, a lot of nasty stuff in here right now, and they're a man down. And yet, they've decided to try and push in. That demo took a lot of damage, but he is still okay. Actually, still has a slight overheal. And they just can't quite get enough damage out onto that sentry, which is now being wrangled. Plus, by the way, a really awesome defense is if you can get like your heavy and medic standing up here, or even your demo man just to rain down death on people who walk in, it catches a lot of people by surprise, especially if you are not aware that people can defend from up there. It's just like, oh, wait a minute, we need to aim upwards as well. So it's just an extra layer of defense that can be really, really useful. Right now, the spy is down, and still, the last bosses haven't really paused it. They are down a man, and they just don't care. Sniper watching in right now, but he is getting spammed pretty hard, and I think they realize he's there. Does take a shot, but misses it. And there you go, that's going to be blue coming back in. Which means that they have a scout once again, using that soda popper, which is a little ridiculous, but compensated for by the fact that it only has 2 shots. Actually, it reloads so fast, I don't even know if there's much of a downside to it, in all honesty. And you get mini crits, so hey, why not? Somebody tell me if there's a downside, seriously. But there you go, blue is going to grab that intel and just run it right back, so that's going to put the last bosses in the lead once he gets it back there. Looks a little funky with the intel in the camera. But right now, oh, look at that sentry location over there, too. Yeah, the last boss is definitely very happy about that. The sentry goes down, so someone rather cunning is going to be crying sad engineer tears about that. But there you go, blue manages to grab that and put his team ahead. And this is the crazy thing. Once you've got a nice little camp going on like this, you take down their sentry. If you can keep reinforcing it properly, you can hold on to their intel room, which is exactly what red team is doing right now. They're going to have to be careful for blue to maybe walk out of the vent up there and deal some damage. But, okay, Billy takes down Exile. But what are you doing? X, the demo man, going crazy! He's still alive with 15 health. Nope, says the engineer. Nope, .avi. But he's going to get taken down too. Cannot set that sentry up, and that's going to put the last bosses in a significant lead. The medic grabs the intel this time around, and the pyro finally decides to run in there and go for some defense. But he, well, okay, lights the medic on fire, my bad. And the medic pops the Uber. By the way, if you pop an Uber, and well, I don't even think you can pop an Uber if you are holding the intel, but if you pop it on somebody who has the intel, they won't become invulnerable. If you are holding the intel, you cannot be invulnerable. So like a dead ringer spy automatically drops it, and if you pop an Uber on somebody holding it, they just keep running with the intel and don't become invincible. So he had to drop the intel there for his scout to grab, which was just perfect timing for him to actually pop that Uber and save himself as well. The last boss is looking really good right now. It is currently 4-1 for tLB, with Chocolate Waffles starting to crumble just a little bit. They are still nabbing kills here and there, but few and far between. And Rarity, yeah, I was going to say he probably needs to look up there because that was a sniper. So the Chocolate Waffles are, you know, they're probably tasty and delicious, but the last bosses are definitely winning this game so far. They've just got to be careful about spies, careful about losing control of the middle area, which currently they are not doing. So this is, yeah, it's going to be our blue intel room. They are pushing out right now, and they've got an Uber, so they want to try and gain control of mid with this if they can. The difficulty is in pushing. Oh no, a double stab there by Exile. Beautifully done, forcing the medic to drop that Uber. Gotta hate that. But no, I mean, it's tough to even push out of those choke points into the middle area without an Uber or without your opponents just completely wiping out on some kind of attack, which might be what Chocolate Waffles needs to wait for now at this point. They've lost, you know, their demo, their soldier. They do still have a heavy, but not for long unless he manages to just, oh. Okay, well, he's going to eat a sandwich because he had nothing else to do there. There were invincible players coming in to try and kill him. And there you go. The intel is probably going to get grabbed once again. What is going on with my intel meter right now? I have no idea. I do know that now we're seeing some spawn camping going on. And that wasn't even all that useful because it was obvious. But X still takes down Simifu. And he isn't done spawn camping yet. Looks like Chocolate Waffles is not going to do very well this half. There you go. Finally takes down X, but not before he gets another couple of kills. Chocolate Waffles still going for the kills here as well. They take down the scout. And it's going to be Spy versus Spy. Insistent decides to cut that off and retreat away from his opponent. Pretty much once you use that, it's impossible to do anything about it. But yeah, we've got actually a spy here defending. He knows that the blue spy is going to be attacking that intel and going for it. So he's, oh, It was up to Exile to try to defend that. Right now it is 2-5, and it could end up being 3-5 very quickly as Chocolate Waffles are bringing it back right now. They are laying down some sticky traps in the normal spot, and I think they might actually just tentatively control the middle point area. We've got the Spy dropping off the intel for the Scout just so he can get it back to his base faster. And a nice little direct pipe there on Accidental Man, and he takes a headshot and dies. So Chocolate Waffles now suddenly in a very nice position to potentially get a couple of points of their own, and I don't even think a dead ringer can save you from 8 stickies. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe it's possible. But Exile just walked into certain death there, in my opinion. You gotta be careful about that. Actually, no, wait, I think it can. Even a full 8 sticky trap won't kill you if you use a dead ringer. But it's not OP or anything. No, it's cool. So Chocolate Waffles, though, holding on to mid, and now we've got 3 players potentially trying to push out here. No, okay, they're not. But I do like that little trap there by Billy. Taking down Exile, and now Thief needs to be careful himself. He is not going to get away with that. No, sir. Rarity takes it out on his head. And so, once again, the last bosses are having some difficulty now controlling mid, which just means that Chocolate Waffles gets to take a couple shots here on capping that intel, pushing in, destroying the sentry, all that. So far, though, a really solid defense by tLB sitting here in their hallway. They do have 100% Uber. Don't think I would agree with pushing out right now, as their opponents have an Uber as well. They're just going to have to wait it out a little bit and wait for their opponents to push in with the Uber. Maybe pop it if they can get the Scout to come in there. Not quite. He was going to try and force that Uber out of them. But X comes out and takes down the sentry, which is pretty useful. He did sacrifice his life for it, though, which does mean the Chocolate Waffles can probably push out a little bit, go for a capture, because I mean when you don't have a demo to deal with, you don't have to worry about all those sticky traps at the doors. Really would like to see them try to push in right now, but I don't see it happening. Oh no, there you go. Gonna be sneaking up behind the enemy medic and trying to force them to pop first. A little bit of skirmishing going on, and it looks like Blue's going in that. Actually, the medic just died. Did he drop to the heavy? I think he did. That's not a usual thing to happen. But this attack isn't going to go very well either. The Pyro is just going to keep blasting that heavy around the corner, which is no fun for the heavy, especially because he's using a sandwich, so he won't have the shotgun to just try and march around there and deal with it. Got to spin up, which just means the Pyro can play with you all day like that. Around those corners, this is a really good area for Pyros to defend against a heavy like that. If you have a corner you can go hide around, just keep blasting him backwards, light him on fire every so often. You know, you'll just, if anything, you'll just frustrate him after a while. But the rest of your team should be able to get there and kill him too, which is exactly what happened here. And the last bosses looks like they have lost their Scout once again. Kind of cute that he seems to be having connection problems. That sucks. What are you gonna do? Ooh, Spy coming in after the medic. Doesn't manage to get him. Poked him down to about 80 health, but that's going to be a full health medic right after he eats that sandwich that was so kindly thrown on the ground for him. And nice reflex going in there. Didn't manage to hit anybody with those, but could have done so. And a kind of a soft push going on by Chocolate Waffles right now. Soft chocolate waffles, delicious. Of course, I do prefer them crispy myself, but I was going to say there's a soft push going on. Now they've actually got an Uber, which would turn it into a regular old push. Soft push just means that there isn't an Uber when they're pushing. But everybody's pretty much stuck at this choke point right now. They don't want to walk through because there's, at the very least, a heavy, potentially a sentry, a Pyro watching them. So there's a lot of spam that could come in. They have marched in now, and they are going to pop the Uber. What is happening to the medic? It looks like he's actually... Oh, no. tLB's medic seems to have crashed, or maybe just gone AFK. And that's going to give free reign to the Chocolate Waffles. They can grab the intel and bring it back to their base, potentially tying this game up. Because, of course, it's 3-5 right now, but it very soon will be 4-5. You can see the wonky intel locators. I don't know what they're doing, but they indicate that the intel are... I don't even know. Never mind. Anyway, Blue has the intel. They're going to get back to their base. No problem. And then you can see that Blue is still in Red's base. The medic did apparently not disconnect, so he is okay. Oh! What a nice defense. That is going to be red team trying to stop their intel from getting taken, and actually he did manage to do it. That's going to be Crow defending successfully. So it's 4-5, and I thought blue for sure was going to have that camp, but apparently it just was not kept up well enough. Rarity, he's getting greedy, decides to grab that health kit. And he's got to deal with that sniper in there who does have the Girardi out, so it's going to be P-Jar versus P-Jar. Soldier going in, trying to grab the intel and bring it back, but no! X, the Demo Man, comes in using the Girardi's mini crit effect and takes down Rarity. So 60 seconds left in the half, and the Chocolate Waffles want to tie it up. They've got the Uber to do it. They just need to push in immediately. The longer they wait, the worse off they're going to be trying to get that intel back to their base. So I don't know what they're waiting for at the moment. They've got the Uber. Here they go. Pushing in now, and the Scout goes in, just keeps the intel right here. You do see there is about a 60-second timer. Every time somebody drops the intel, that timer starts going around, and once 60 seconds is up, the intel goes back to base. I think it's 60 seconds anyway. It might be, no, it's 60. Looks like tLB, though, managing to hold on to it, and yes, they are still a man down. X going to jump in, go for the blue intel, and he will grab it. There might be overtime if somebody's holding onto the intel, or if it's away from base. I'm not entirely sure how it's going to work here in the new UGC rules. We'll find out. Nope. No overtime, so we'll be back after that second half. Well, before the second half. After halftime. You know. And going into the second half, just FYI, you know these little slots in the doors there? Okay, they'll eventually... You can actually shoot through those and kill people in spawn if they're just standing still. So that's pretty cute. I saw that happen during halftime. By this guy, actually. Insistent. Was shooting through the doors, and there you go. Takes down Thief immediately. Going for that high-value kill, and kills X as well. Scout's going to be on top of him with a Soda Popper, but doesn't matter too much. Now he's going to come after the Medic, going for headshots. Tough to hit, but the Medic will have to... Actually, he's behind enemy lines right now, on fire. ZFX, if you get away from this, you will be the most heroic medic of all time. Oh, ZFX, we hardly knew you. Oh, there we go. The teams did not switch sides, actually. Didn't switch colors, so they are both the same color. Chocolate Waffles is still blue. The last boss is still red. And right now the score is 4-5 in favor of the last boss, is just barely. I am almost 100% positive about that. I might check. We'll see. But right now Chocolate Waffles attempting to tie this game up because they should be able to push in fairly soon. They've got the Uber now. I don't know why they would wait. There you go. They do pop it. Oh, they're waiting for the buff banner. Or is it a buff banner? It is. It looks like one. Backup look. Yeah, it's definitely a buff banner. They're doing some good damage right now. Oh, the mini crits! Taking down a bunch of players here. So Chocolate Waffles looking very, very impressive right now. They ran in with an Uber buff banner. Always my favorite thing to see a Highlander team do. It's not allowed in ESCA, I don't think. The buff banner isn't. Uber's still allowed. But Chocolate Waffles having a little bit of difficulty because they popped their Uber just a little bit too early to take out the sentry. Billy is still doing some good damage. And the Heavy's up there now trying to just hold down the area. Insistent even. Ooh, gotta be careful with that one. Does manage to get away. But it looks like Chocolate Waffles have backed up just a little bit. And that Scout is in trouble. And somehow still managed to get away from those roller pills. Oh, scary stuff. But, no, the Chocolate Waffles had to back up to mid. They still hold mid right now. And the Uber is popped for the red team. They're going to try and take down... Oh, look at that Heavy get pushed around. And so the... you don't say that all that often, but that Heavy definitely got pushed around. Yeah, they had to back away from that. The Uber was ending. There was a sentry out there. I do like the position that Chocolate Waffles has right now. They're holding it pretty well. And that might be what she said, maybe, if you stretch it a little bit. Okay, we're going to stop that now. Chocolate Waffles hold mid, and they're... Oh, they had the Uber popped early, though, so they are not going to be able to take out that sentry anytime soon. They're going to try and run in with this, maybe take down the Heavy or the Medic, but nope, Uber is already over. Nice play by X, the Demo Man, who is... Let's see here. Blue's actually coming out here. Going for the shot on the Medic, who actually is still at like 130 health, so he's perfectly fine. Trying to find... Oh no, X is dead. X, come on. Okay, X respawned. There we go. Gotta find him. There we go. because this guy seems to be playing a really, really scary roamer demo man. He does activate that dead ringer on Insistent, who runs into him, and X, he's so close to dead. Okay, there you go. X didn't realize that, but he could have just pulled the bottle out and kind of bottled him for a little while. Right now, though, he has decided to just grab some ammo out of the dispenser, hang out at the water cooler with his pie bro, and he's not bothering to take a lot of heals from the medic just yet. There, he probably will. He's should be fairly close to crit heals now if he's not already. There you go. Gets his health up to 260 real nice and fast. And the beautiful thing about crit heals is that if your team, I mean, if multiple players don't take damage for a good amount of time. Oh, nice. Once again, they force a pop of blue, so there will be no intel capturing right now. With a lot more damage to be done. Chocolate Waffles still holding on to mid very effectively, which just means that they still have the potential to be the aggressors and shove their team, their large blue team, into their opponent's base, grab their intel, and just get out of there. Insistent, though, was maybe a little bit too hasty, prematurely detonating, as it were. Seriously, I don't even know what's going on right now. I'm not drunk or anything, but maybe it's because I watched Archer. Nope, the Chocolate Waffle's still hanging out up here, though. And they're pretty much, I mean, Billy, okay, 175 health. He doesn't have the medic on him right now. That's going to probably be the heavy then, who is taking the heals. And Billy's going to be in some trouble. But he takes down Blue. Somehow that scout finally ended up eating some splash damage, which we don't see happen all that often. Just means that Billy is going to be in a nice position to spam a little bit more. But the medic doesn't want to get anywhere near it for some reason. I'm kind of surprised at this because they need to get in there and use the Uber in the enemy's base to take down the sentry and hopefully get a bunch of kills. And that's just not what's happening right now. No, sir, it is not. Oh, there you go. They take down the engineer. That is going to be a really useful kill. Rarity takes down that engie, which just means that the sentry is going to die so fast, and it is already gone. Spy putting down the sappers, and they do have the intelligence. They've got a buff banner as well. Man, they prepared for this one, so they are definitely getting away with this. And that is probably going to tie the game up for the Waffles. Sounds like a spy den ringer going off there, but that's going to be just about it for that point. Chocolate Waffles get the capture, but they need to be staying in that room, because if they don't, there's just going to be another sentry set up right away. I'm surprised that they aren't staying in here to camp it, but oh no, you know what, they're not, because there's actually a really big fight going on at mid. There's a lot of red players right now holding on to their intel. They're setting up a sentry here in the banana. It's going to be harder for them to reinforce. It's farther away from their spawn. They have to get a little bit more exposed to get out here and defend it. And the scout is just going to sneak around behind. Is he going to go for the kills? Yes, he is. Okay, so interesting play. I kind of like it. Oh, no, I don't like it anymore. Because if he had just sat back here on the point... Watch. Just watch. Just a couple more seconds. Maybe a little bit more. No, okay, so actually somebody grabbed it. My bad. No, Chocolate Waffles did actually touch the intel again, I think, which is why it hasn't respawned yet. But he could have just sat back there and waited for it to go back to the point. In which case he would have run it out the other direction and gotten the score. Probably. There was nobody back there to defend it. Right now, though, the Waffles are losing their sniper, but they still hold on to mid. No, I'm sorry, tLB now holds on to mid. Oh, look at that play. Spy gets taken out by the Homewrecker, but that's still going to be Chocolate Waffles getting away with the intel. And the medic decides to drop it off for the soldier, who is just going to slip on in and finally bring it up to 5-5. So 12 minutes left to go here in the game, and it is now tied overall. And I do think we once again have the last bosses in control of the middle area. They need to probably repair this sentry. Fire is not a good thing for sentries. Scout takes that down real nice and fast. Bullets are even worse for sentries than fire. Just FYI, they're really bad for it if you're planning on being an engineer at some point in your life. Blue's got the soda popper crits, but was not getting in there to do any damage. And he's actually got bonk as well. He could, if you wanted to, take that, sneak on into the opponent's base, because while you're under the effects of Bonk, you are, of course, invincible. But right now, he's having to stop his own intel from being captured, because that is Insistent getting in there as a spy once again, and that's one thing you can do as a spy if your opponents are a little bit out of position, like if they're doing what they are doing right now, which is holding mid instead of holding their last point. If the spy can sneak through, which is tough to do, but if he can, then you can move that intel pretty close to the middle area, at which point, I mean, you just have to send in a scout, send in some distractions, you could potentially get the capture. Right now, though, there's a bunch of players, oh, yeah, they are. They do look like they're going for it. Maybe. But that intel's still, I think, back at base now, so probably not going to happen. And the Uber's popped. Oh, the Heavy's taken down. So that's going to be tLB, probably with a successful push here. The Uber is ready for Kyrox, but you gotta, I don't know, he's not popping it fast enough sometimes. He ends up losing players, which occasionally that's useful and worth it, but usually it's actually not to lose players, believe it or not. So you want to pop the Uber a little bit early, like if your Heavy is going to die to the opposing Heavy. Go ahead and pop it on him. And X takes players down with his wonderful sticky tracks of doom. There is a buff banner going down right now, and the spy, once again, he is so insistent on getting that intel closer and closer to his base. A scout could just sneak out there now and grab it, and he probably will, as the... Oh, I thought that was a Homewrecker. No, that was Nappy using the extinguisher. Okay, useful. No, the scout could get out there, as there is no sentry now. So the last bosses are actually in kind of a tenuous position here. They could end up losing another point. And look at that! The sniper goes out and tries to grab it, but he doesn't manage to get very far. There is a sticky trap, so X, the demo man, is still standing out here and holding on to the intel for dear life. So you're doing a pretty good job. Our soldier, Eric the dog, who is something like Hank the cow dog, only he's not a cow dog, and he's not named Hank. He's got a K on the end of his name. Has decided he's going to go in for the enemy intel, as the Chocolate Waffles only has 3 players remaining now. Not going to be very easy to defend their sentry or their point, and 2 players coming in here to spam that sentry gun means it's going to go to actually 3 or 4. That was a combined attack from all sides. Nothing our poor red engineer could... I'm sorry, blue engineer? Blue engineer could do about that, but the red engineer just died too, for some reason. Nappy, I think, found him. So X is doing the right thing here, which is once they grab the intel, lay some stickies at that door and just be prepared to defend the enemy intel room whenever you can. Because that way, even if they grab your intel, what are they going to do? They got to get it past you. So while they're trying to do that, you still end up completely destroying them and capping their intel like way more than they cap yours. So X is having some difficulty moving around right now, but he... Oh, nice shots on Nappy! Takes down that pyro like it was nobody's business, and he does manage to sneak away from the Heavy, which does mean that he will probably get back and get the capture. He could make a sticky jump if he really wanted to. Instead, he will get... Oh, okay. So the lowest amount of damage you can take from a sticky is actually like 45. He had 55 health, so he would have been okay. But whatever. It is now... What is it? 7-6? Yes, it is. Both teams getting captures, and I haven't even heard the announcer lady like screaming about it, which is kind of weird. So I've missed a couple of caps here and there. But yeah, 7-6 with tLB still in the lead. And Crow standing back trying to help his engineer build up. He's going to watch for spies or anything else coming in, try to spam his sentry down, and deal with them with fire. Soda Popper is ready to go, and you saw what Blue was doing there. He was holding the bat out, because if you have the Soda Popper out, then you just keep building up that that hype rate. But if you put it away, you actually stop building it up for a little while. And then, so if you've got it like really, really close to activating, because it activates by just running around. If you've got it close, then you just put it away for a little while until you really want to use it. And there you go, Insistent is finally taken down. Looks like Blue did not pull out the bat fast enough that time, so he's got the crits right now, or the mini crits right now. And ends up losing them. Meanwhile, ZFX, which is like SFX for sound effects, but Z, so I don't even know what Z stands for. Zebra effects? That's what we'll call it. ZFX trying to keep his team healed. He does have the regular Uber once again, so it looks like neither team really opted to go with the crits anymore. I have heard of teams doing really successful job with the crits, but that is just not what's happening right now. Exile, okay. Oh yeah, this is perfect for him. Decloak, get the enemy medic before he pops the Uber. Gotta hurry, gotta hurry. Oh, he spotted him. Exile. I mean, he knows what he's doing more than I do, but he totally could have gotten this. Oh, he's gonna get him. No, he's gonna pop the Uber. Oh, fail stab. And he still gets away from it. So nicely done by Exile. He's just going to hang out here beneath the pillar for a little bit. And then looks like his team is still hanging out and camping the enemy intel, which means they are going to grab it. And there you go. It is now 8-6 in favor of the last bosses. Someone rather cunning, making sure that he keeps his base set up. The funny thing here is that it looks like Chocolate Waffles actually hold mid, and yet they have lost a point. But they did manage to hold on to it that time around and stop Exile from grabbing it. Now they are going to push in with an Uber. Maybe they just now grabbed middle. But, oh! Oh, Kyrox, what are you doing? Okay. Kyrox... Actually, like, I used to play that way too, so I can't totally rag on him. But he's definitely dropped too many Ubers and lost too many players. Really, when you're walking around those corners... And this is something that playing a lot of sixes games with really good players has taught me. When your heal target is walking around corners or going through choke points or whatever, it's better to just pop the Uber on him most of the time. Because if you know there's enemies around there and if you see him even start to take a little bit of damage, you should just be like, no, okay, we're going to shut this down. Because otherwise they could end up dying to a sticky trap or to a headshot or to a combination of a whole bunch of different sources very easily. Ooh, insistent. And... it's really, I mean, you're going to end up losing all the momentum on that push if you're not careful. So X is just doing a little bit of juking back and forth across this door. Billy going to keep it set up, and he's got a nice little health kit here to keep himself healed up as well. ZFX has an Uber, but I don't see where they can go with it right now. Especially considering it seems like they're back in their own intel room. So having 100% Uber and being stuck back here kind of sucks. What are they going to do, though? Their opponents are 9 up right now. They're all alive. Although, not for long, probably, considering where they're standing right now and how that door could open and the sniper could fire. Anyway, well, they're okay. They're taking down the sentry, so there you go. They do decide to pop out here, taking down that engineer. And now the heavy's gone as well. Blue took him out. He's going to go for the medic. Medic pulls out the overdose, trying to hit him with the needles, but Blue is just all over the place right now. And there you go, Kyrox is actually finished off by that soldier. Blue was just like, yeah, whatever, you can take all the credit, I guess, on the kill feed. But we all know who kept that medic occupied. There's this guy with Soda Popper right here. And now tLB is in a nice position with 3 minutes and 45 seconds left to go. It does look as if they're going to be 3 points ahead, I want to say. Yeah, they're definitely going to be 3 points ahead there. And that's going to be tough for Chocolate Waffles to gain back at this point. They still could. Definitely still could. And the Spy is going to go straight for that medic, but does miss his shots. Misses opportunity, is what I mean. He didn't actually shoot. Exile kind of did a cute little move there. So he did get away with getting around his opponents. And he's going to go straight into the enemy's base. Spots a sentry just getting set up, and the engineer spots him as well. Nope. Not going to happen. Still using the Jag, which is a little bit of a weird choice, especially because he's not going to be packing up and removing his, his sentry. He probably won't get the opportunity to hit somebody with a wrench, but, just in case you are going to get that opportunity, always nice to have the Southern hospitality. But there you go, the sentry is getting hit right now. Someone rather cunning needs some health. But right now, he's actually doing a really good job wrangling from up there, and the heavy cannot take down the sentry himself, so Chocolate Waffles are in some trouble. And I'm pretty sure that the last bosses are doing quite a good job here on Turbine. And yes, I'm calling it Turbine, even though, like, everybody I know calls it Turbine, because it's easier to say. And, whatever. I'm not even going to justify it. You can totally say it that way. It's cool. Chocolate Waffle is going to be pretty good, though. As pushing out into mid, I think they'll be able to do this. They've taken down X the Demo Man, and have to watch out for ZFX, who right now has been pushing out with his own heavy, but they are dropping back, having taken a lot of damage. Okay, I want to see this. No, they're not running the Chris. It's just a festive Medigun. And Chocolate Waffles lose a lot of players. So at this point, with a minute 30 left, I think we're going to have to call it for tLB. Chocolate Waffles can't grab the intel and bring it back fast enough. Well, they could. I guess you could make 3 30-second runs if you had a scout doing that. But I doubt it. And Simifu takes down Blue in a nice convincing fashion, but that is going to be all she wrote. With Thief trying to take down that medic. Not really going to happen. Nonetheless, here comes the red team once again, going in with an Uber just to show who's boss, I guess. Because at this point, it almost doesn't matter. The map is going to end in about 60 seconds. There you go. I'm so good at this. Spy does take down the medic, and Dueling Master Black Belt X9002, it's a mouthful, gets taken down himself. Chocolate Waffle is still going for it. I mean, they've actually, I think, got the intel with their scout. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Daft. Oh, can't quite get it, though. It is currently 9-6 in favor of the last bosses. 30 seconds left to go. I don't think it's possible. So that's going to be tLB taking the game very convincingly against the Chocolate Waffles here in the UGC Steel, I want to say Steel Blue division. Pretty darn good teams here. Not gonna lie, I did like the game, although Turbine is a tough one to cast because there's a lot of stuff going on at once. Generally, it's of course easier to cast for 6v6, which I've actually casted a 6v6 Turbine game before. Believe it or not, you can look through my video archives and it should be on there. But thank you guys, it's been a pleasure. Do hit subscribe, and I've actually got a pretty awesome game coming up to cast. Going to be enjoying this one because my friends from the NA 6v6 Newbie Mix have sent me a game of their own.